This conference will now be recorded.
Hi everyone, very good morning.
Yeah, hi, good morning.
So there are new folks, right? Okay, fine, no problem. Mm, So last class we covered about the DevOps introduction, right? So we covered about some DevOps introduction. We learned about DevOps. What is DevOps? Okay. Then what are the different um, previously before DevOps, what was in the picture? What are the roles and responsibilities of a DevOps engineer, right? Then what are different teams in the DevOps engineer? Then we spoke about the life cycle, right? There are different life cycles where your tools will fall under. Okay, which tools will fall under which life cycle, and what is the use of that life cycle? We spoke about all these things, right? So now. Uh, Then we spoke about what? We spoke about waterfall model and we gave an overview of tools as well. We also learned about overview of tools where we had a diagrammatic explanation about that tools, right? We had a diagrammatic explanation about the tools which we have learned it. Okay. In the draw.io we have seen that one diagram explanation. We saw the end-to-end flow of so end-to-end flow of DevOps with Azure. Like we saw this flow, okay? How from the Java, okay, right from the code which these people have written, how this will flow with all these tools, and where do we put these tools? Where do we put these tools in all this location? Okay, this is what the end-to-end flow, which is there in your diagrammatic, in your explanation. Okay, so now I see some new folks. Also, we learned about file agile and
Yes,
some
Clinton.
waterfall model. Okay, I see some new folks here. So, guys, you were there as part of this demo, or have you seen the demo videos at least? Anyone here who have seen demo videos apart from Prasad, Ganesh, Krishna, Narsimha?
Yeah, No, I haven't seen
Yeah,
the.
no.
You've not seen the demo as well?
No, I haven't seen the demo.
Okay, fine, no problem.
And may I know your name, please?
Yeah, my name is Sagar.
Sagar. Okay.
So, Narsimha, okay. Are you working? Like, are you working or are you a student? Can you brief about yourself? A short, like, are you working professional? Are you a student? Are you working in this field of DevOps or which any other field you're working, right? So, a small introduction will help me to proceed further. Like Ganesh, Krishna, Narsimha, all the three. Like, if you could give us a small info about yourself, it would be great.
Yeah, sure. My name is Krishna. I'm
Okay,
from Nevada. So, my bachelor's I have done in finished in 2022.
okay,
Yeah. Currently, I'm searching for job, and I just
okay,
want to learn this DevOps and Azure platform.
okay, great. So you're a fresher, right?
Yes.
Okay, great. Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyone else like Ganesh, Narsimha?
Yes. Myself, Ganesh, I'm from Chevrolet. I have completed BTech in the year of 2015. I'm looking for a job, searching for job.
Okay. So you completed 2015. You're searching for job. In between, you didn't go for any company. You did work.
Yeah, technically, I haven't worked. So non-technically, I work.
Okay, no problem. Fine. That is also fine. Okay.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you. Narasimha. Okay, Narasimha is here.
Yes, 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 sir.
Yes. Yeah, tell me.
Yes, I completed my MCA last year, sir. I'm searching for job. Just
Okay,
my
last
friend
year.
suggests me
Okay,
it's a new technology. Just try to join in the course. That's why
okay.
just I'm
Fine, fine, fine. Yeah, got it. Okay. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for your introduction, right? So coming to myself, right? My name is Sagar, right? I have total 8 plus years of experience into this complete cloud and this DevOps and Linux administration. So I'm still working as well as I'm teaching students as a corporate. I teach in corporate. I teach for consultancies. Okay, I as well as teach for this individual batches. Okay, so that's a brief intro about myself. Okay. So coming to existing classes, don't worry. Like wherever I'll get time, try to cover. This is just an introduction we covered, just to understand what is the roles and responsibilities we have. Okay. So I'll give you tools overview. You can see the recording of the demo once. Okay. And then what we'll do is you can watch 1 or 2 videos. You can come back there, right? I'll take one additional 1 or 2 hours for you guys, and I'll cover up the session again. Okay. So for today, we'll continue with the rest of the part. Okay. So this is just the introduction, just a introduction about the DevOps, how the DevOps life cycle, how the DevOps work will be there, what you'll be doing here, right? So basic of that. Okay. So today we'll start with the Linux introduction. Okay. We covered the DevOps introduction, right? Today we'll cover the Linux introduction. So no need to worry about the writing the notes and everything. So I'll be writing the notes and we'll be shared this notepad to you. Okay. This complete notepad will be shared to you along with the videos. Okay. And we'll give you the documentation as well. Screenshot with the documentation. All that documentation will be given to you. Okay. Okay, fine. Okay. So very first thing we're going to learn about the Linux basics, because the basic of Linux operating system is important. Okay, when you're entering the Linux platform. Okay, so Linux introduction will be starting today. You need to understand what is a machine. Okay, how the machine looks, how do you install this, right? So all these things you should have a basic idea. Okay, so very first, before I go to Linux administration part, right? So very first, so what is a, because Linux is a operating system, right? So what do you mean by operating system? We'll start from scratch. We'll be learning from little bit of scratch. Okay, giving you some information what is the operating system. Okay, what is the operating system? So operating, I say Linux. When I say we are starting a Linux okay, Linux one. So when we say we are learning about little bit of Linux administration, so what do you mean by Linux? So Linux is what, an operating system. But before I say Linux is an operating system, what is an operating system? Okay, operating system is a software. Simply, your operating system is a any operating system, your Windows operating system, Linux operating system, your Mac operating system, your Android operating system. Everything is software, right? Which runs on hardware. Runs on hardware. Okay, what is a hardware? Hardware can be a anything, right? A desktop is a hardware. Your desktop machine is a hardware, right? Your laptop is also hardware. Laptop is a hardware, right? In what way? Okay, hardware. So your server is a hardware. Okay, so your physical machine. People say it's a physical machine. Okay, physical machine. Would you say virtual machine? Or you say virtual machine? So all this is what? This is a hardware, all the hardware, different naming convention, but the same thing. Some people will say Windows box, Windows or your Linux, Windows hyphen your Linux box. They say box, someone will say box, but end of the day, it's a end of the day. What is it? Hardware is nothing but a machine only, right? Machine, what is your desktop is a machine only, right? That machine is what, your computer is what, a machine only. So operating system is software which runs on a hardware. That means operating system is software which runs on a hardware, in a sense it's running on a machine. Instead of bare metal machine, you're running that operating system. Okay, so further what you can do, you can install, once you install this operating system, you can install your applications. That is the end goal, right? Because you're using an operating system to install your applications and run applications. Run applications. Application nothing but again a softwares, right? You have a softwares on top of softwares. Okay. The basic definition of operating system is software which runs on a hardware. Hardware is nothing but a machine where you install your application and run the application. Okay, run the application. So, what are the different operating system you guys have learned till now? Okay, you have seen in Windows. What are things you have seen in Windows? So, mostly when we have with childhood, we have seen Windows XP. Okay, then we saw Windows 8, then Windows 8. Okay, then we have Windows 8, then we have Windows 10. Now we have Windows 11. So what we have learned, this is all graphical. That means we have whatever I'm using right now, right? All this is what, a graphical user, right? Graphical user interface. That means I can use a button system, I can access all the files. I have all the graphical way of using this. What, this is your graphical way of using. Okay, this is your desktop operating system where you say graphical interface operating system, right? So what else you have? This is the graphical GUI version. This is GUI version. Then you have something called 2010, Windows 2010. Okay, Windows 2012, Windows 2016. Okay, so 2016, 2018 might also become. So this is called server operating system. OS, server operating system means these are used mostly. These are used for your personal use, for the personal use, for your daily use. You use this personal operating system. But when you go in the live environments, when you go where you're running your Facebook applications, where you're running your amazon.com, all this in websites which you're seeing, that is running on the server operating system. That means this is mostly, this is mostly it is used for running, okay, non-graphical mode, okay, non-GUI graphical user interface, okay, interface. Interface, that is nothing but your CLI mode, which is called your CLI mode. That means command line. Everything is command line, okay. Command line, which is your command line activity. So these are two things which you same thing how in Windows it is there, same thing in the Windows also we have, okay. So Windows, same thing we have in Linux, okay. Same thing we have in Linux. So in Linux we have different softwares. We need to understand first what are the different operating system. In Windows we have same, right? Windows is one same thing. So we have something called Red Hat. Then we have something called Ubuntu. So the two major things in the company, two major vendors or two major companies which are selling the operating system. Okay, Linux operating system sold by Red Hat and Ubuntu, two operating systems. Okay, so Red Hat, I have seen Red Hat from 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, currently latest is a 9. Latest is a 9, which is currently running in the market. Okay, and most stable one, that means which is running correctly perfectly fine, it's called 7. Stable version is 7 and the latest one is 9. Okay, latest one is 9. This is your Windows. Okay, stable is a 9, this is the 9. Okay, in this you have different versions are there. It's not only version 3, Red Hat 3 or something. Red Hat 3.x. X means any value can fill there, and Y any value can fill there, depends upon the versions they have, how many versions they have. 7.x, it can be 7.1, 7.2, 7.3, 7.4, okay, 7.8, 7.9, till 7.9 you have, okay, 9.x. So 9.x is latest, that means it is in the development phase. People have started releasing that, people are using as well. People are using as well. Okay, same way you have Ubuntu. Okay, I have seen Ubuntu from 14 or 4, it is 14 or X, say 14 or 4, 16 or 4, it now you have 18 or 4, okay, 18 or 4, you know 4, 20 or 4, 22 or 4. These are all different operating system versions, different operating system versions. Okay, different operating system versions. Okay, likewise here also 22 dot is the latest one, and the stable version is your 18. Why I'm saying stable? What I'm saying? Why I'm saying stable? And why I'm saying this latest? Because most companies which is running in production will be using a stable version, whichever is stable, because this 8 and 9 are being used. Okay, that is also in the live, companies are still using. But now happens when the applications are running stable in the 7, why they will go with 8 and 9 until there is some issue. So this will be deprecated soon. Soon they have to move for 8 and 9 because 7 is getting deprecated. No one will use 18 also. They have some security vulnerabilities. Some hackers might attack your website and everything. For that reason, we don't require this one. So these are the basic operating system names we have. So likewise, there are few more in the Red Hat. You have like Linux. You have four more. Fedora. Then you have your Mint. Then you have Kali Linux. Then you have your CentOS. Okay, these are all the Linux operating systems only. Okay, different companies are selling different, but most market is there with these two people. Most companies will use this is mostly less. The market is very less for these folks. Okay, market is here also. I have seen from it's also Red Hat on Red 5, 6, 7. We have okay, you might have 8 and 9 as well. So same thing this will have. Same thing it will have it. Okay, this is a different operating system. This is a different operating system naming and conventions of that. Okay, so what is operating system and what is a different version of operating system. Okay, different versions of operating system. So now before before we go into Linux commands, so before we go into basics Linux commands, so few things we need to understand. And then we can jump into the installation part. And we can check that one. So there is something called few things we need to learn. One is a data center. What do you mean by a data center? Very important. Second thing, what is a physical machine? Then what is a virtual?
Hello, hello.
Okay, fine. So just internet got switch. Okay, no problem. So my screen is visible. Okay, fine. Audio is also visible. Okay, fine. So now physical machine. Okay. So the terminology which you need to understand. Second thing, the cloud. Okay. We might have learned about cloud little bit, but we need to understand little bit of cloud knowledge. What is your Azure? Okay. On your Azure or any other cloud, what are the cloud you're learning Azure, right? So you need to understand few more things about this cloud. And then once we understood this one, we'll jump into the basic commands. And here before this basic command, I'll explain you okay, how to create an AWS account. How to create an Azure account. Azure account. How to create an Azure account. Okay. And once you create an Azure account, then we'll learn about how to launch an virtual machine. Launch or create your virtual machine. First virtual machine and virtual machine. Okay, once we do the virtual machine launching, here we'll be doing the installation. In the virtual machine, we'll be doing the installation of Linux installation. Linux installation. We'll be learning about Linux installation here. Okay. Once we do this installation, then our basic commands will start of Linux. So on will go on with the complete Linux concept. But beforehand, we need to understand what is a data center. Very important because you should understand what is a data center, what is the difference between cloud, why cloud came into market, why data center is used here, right? The difference you need to understand. Yeah, fine. So have you guys ever seen data center? Anytime have you guys seen data center?
No, did not see.
Okay. So see, this is how the data center looks. You search in Google as well, you'll get a lot of data center images, right? Go and search in Google. So this is how the data center looks. So what is data center? Data center is nothing but a location, a building or a room. Okay, data center is nothing but it's saying a center where the data is stored, a center where the data is stored. So how the data is stored? So this is how the data center looks. This is how your data center looks. So here what will happen? It is same as a library. How the library is there, same it is. So what is here? There are all these machines are here. Okay, machines. How the machines will look? A simple machine in a data center is stored like your, if you have seen your DVD player, if you know like how the DVD player, flat DVD player, or your, if you have a CPU, right? You just, if you're standing CPU, if you make it flat and keep it, how the CPU will look, same your machine is same. Only thing is here difference between this machines which are running in data center and the machine which is running with you, your personal machine. Only difference is the configurations. Here the configurations will be very high. It is used for a very high load purpose. Okay, like you will be using some 16 GB RAM and everything, right? Simply in your laptop, your basic memory CPU will be using in the laptop for a processing for daily use. But here this is a live application, right? So everything is very high configuration. So what is this data center? So data center is a location, building or a room. A data center is a location, building or a room where you have all the servers in the rack, in the form of racks. When you go to your library, you see these racks, right? Iron racks where you keep all the books in that shelf, iron shelf and everywhere, right? Same way it has, right? Okay, same way this data center will contains all your machines which are your servers. Here the terminology of machine is called servers. Okay, we solve virtual machines, virtual servers, virtual machines. Okay, virtual server, virtual machines and everything. Okay, and then you have routers, switches, firewalls, internet connection is required, AC is required because system will get hang, right? All the AC is required. So this is how the data center looks. This is how the data center looks, where you keep all the machines and everything, all the machines and everything. Okay, and how the server looks. Look at here. This is how the amplifier, you play the DJ amplifier, right? These people will have amplifier, or your DVD player, how the DVD player looks. So all these things is same as likewise. Only thing is it has different batteries, different layers of that, right? And this is how your physics, this is how your machine looks. This is how your server or the machine looks. Simple. This is the outer cover, this is the inner cover of that. Okay, and here you have a, you see you have three different buttons here. You have three different buttons to start, stop, and this is a green button, blue button, red button will be there to stop and stop. And here you have a CD. If you click this one, your CD will come out, and you can insert a CD inside that. Even you can install a software because this is the hardware, right? Inside that you have to install a software. Then you have to use a CD. You have to use a CD. Okay, you have to use a CD. Okay. Fine. So what is a server? You understood? Server, this is how it looks. Server is nothing but a machine. Server is nothing but a simple, your CPU machine, how it is there, or your desktop, it is same. Only thing is the configuration is very high. Configuration of these machines are very high. So here in this machine, this data center is a location where all the machines, live applications like your Amazon has its own data center. Okay, Amazon website has its own data center. Your Facebook will have its own data center, right? Each and every person will have own data center for maintaining the data. Okay, it's not only a data, it's not only application running, it also a database is running there. Database is running, application is running, your router, switches, everything is running. So this is called a data center. Why I'm telling you? Because people will ask you a question. What do you mean by data center? That time you should have an answer. For that purpose, we are learning this one. And this is a basic terminology of Linux, the basic terminology of Linux, which you need to understand. Which you need to understand. So, what is data center? Data center is a location. This location can be anything. In any location, it can be a building or it can be a room. Okay, it can be a room. in racks. We are keeping in the racks. Servers are kept in the racks. Okay. Then you have a routers, your network routers, your switches. That means connecting one, two or more devices. We have switches. Okay. Then we have your devices. Different network devices will be there. Different devices will be there. Okay. Then your firewalls. Then your ACs, coolers. All these things are available. Okay, this is your data center. This is a data center. Okay, so data center is a collection of all these things: machines, rack, routers, switches, etc. things. Okay, fine. So any clarity, guys, before I proceed? Okay. Then we'll learn about physical machine. What is a physical machine? Okay, what do you mean by physical machine? What do you mean by virtual machine? Okay, virtual machine. Then we'll learn about the cloud. Then we'll learn about how to create account, and we'll start with the basic commands. Okay. Any clarity, guys, before I proceed? Any doubt? Okay, fine. Just give
Yeah,
me 1 minute. Yeah, yeah, ask me. Yeah, go ahead.
actually, actually, I think this firewalls is a it's not a physical device, right? It's in data center. It is a
It's a data center. Yes. This is a software, right, which you install. Firewall
yes,
is a software to install that one inside. It is not a
yes,
physical device. It will be installed there. Like this, in your servers, you'll be having different things, right? You require operating system as well, right? You require operating system to running in the server. Server is what machine that you have different operating system as well, right? So all these things, uh, that data center is a collection of everything, right? Each and every software application. Your it's not only a normal server. I'm saying servers, database servers, application servers, or different network servers. Whatever the servers you require, each and every machine is there inside there. Okay, this is not a physical device. This is a softwares. All the different softwares. Okay. Any other query?
no, no.
No, fine. Just give me 1 minute, okay? I'll be back. Just give me 1 minute. Okay, fine, guys. Let's proceed. Okay, what is a physical machine? What is a physical machine. So when I say physical, that means which I can touch and feel, right? Physical which I touch, so that means, so physical means which I, very first thing which I can touch and feel, that means the laptop which I'm using right now, what are the laptop I'm using, okay, this laptop is physical to me, that means I can touch and feel. And also this laptop has its own resources, that means that laptop what it has its own hard disk, own disk is there, own CPU, memory, RAM is there for this laptop. That means it has its own resources. This laptop has its own resources. It has its own hard disk, own CPU, own memory, own RAM, right? Everything is RAM. That means physical machine is something, okay, which has own data center. That means which has its own resources. Physical machine is something which has its own resources and which is which is only available to use. Is physically available to use it. Okay. Okay. So now use it. So now what is virtual machine? What you mean by virtual machine? Okay. Physical machine I told that it has its own resources. That means resources in a sense which has its own, okay. Resources can be anything. So resources can be your CPU. To just take an example of CPU, your memory, RAM memory, and your hard disk. Okay, hard disk. Okay, all these things are available with the same machine which has its own resources. That means that is only entitled to that machine. What do you mean by virtual machine? What do you mean by virtual? Very first thing, okay, the virtual machine, okay, when you say virtual means which is not physically located with this, physically not available. Virtual machine is something which we access virtually, that means remotely. That means remotely. Somewhere that machine is located in some other location and we are trying to access that machine. That is first location. Somewhere we are trying to access. Second thing is it, okay, and resources for virtual machine are shared from physical machine. This is shared from physical machine. Okay, so virtual machine is something which we access virtually, that is remotely, and resources shared from physical machine. Okay, resources are shared from, and is the resources for the virtual machine. Resources for virtual machine resources are shared from your, shared from physical machine. That means this virtual machine is something we are sharing the resources from virtual machine. Okay, these are the two different things. This is the two different things. Okay, any clarity, guys? Any clarity regarding this? Okay, any clarity regarding this? So virtual is something which you access differently. Virtual is something which you access differently. Okay, example of virtual machine. How do we use virtual machine? You can use your virtual machine in your windows as well. Have you anytime used, have you worked upon hyper, have you learned, have you know hypervisor, hypervisor, okay, hypervisor. If you heard about hypervisor, we have a Oracle virtual box. If you have used in your engineering colleges, Oracle virtual box. If you have not used, no worries. Oracle virtual box, then you have VMware workstation. These are two different ways where people can, it's not only from something remotely, also I can make use of this virtual box here and install on top of that, I can install n number of machines. So there is something called hypervisor, is a software which will provides us some flexibility to some flexibility to use the virtualization concept. Okay, let me show you that how that virtualization works. Okay, this is how your virtualization works. Ignore about the second diagram, forget about the second one, and concentrate on the first one. So here if you see, this is your machine. Let's suppose this is a machine, your laptop or your in the server somewhere. Cloud we didn't come, will come out the cloud. So let's assume this is your physical machine, your computer or your Linux machine which is there in the data center, except anything. Okay, this is infrastructure. Let's assume this is a physical machine, and top of them I want to create three different operating system. Let's suppose I got a requirement from client. The client says whatever the application you're building, what are the application you're building, that application should run in your, he says your application should run in your Mac. Just a moment, let me open a notepad actually. Okay, okay. So we got a requirement where a client is saying, I want an application. I want a simple application. Okay, I want a simple application. With the application should run on any of the operating system, any of the operating system. So now you have to test it. Okay, you have only one machine. Let's assume you have only one Linux or Windows machine. Okay, you have your Linux or your Windows machine. You have only one machine. But now the client says, okay, client says I want to check this in the Mac operating system. Okay, and let's assume you have only your Windows or Linux. Let's suppose you have only your Windows available here. Okay, let's assume you have only Windows. This physical machine is only a Windows machine. Now client says you test it in the Linux, you test it in the Mac, and you test it in the Android machine. So all these three operating system, you test my application and give it to me. And he says my application should be running in all the three different operating system, and it should be able to execute properly, and application should launch. So now you don't have any infrastructure, you have only one Linux Windows machine, you have only Linux machine, and the servers are also running in Windows. Let's assume the servers are also running in Windows. You don't only one machine, and you have your limitation is what, you have only one machine available. That means one machine you can install only one software, you can't install multiple software. There'll be dual operating system, you can do it, but the performance will become very slow, you can't access your application, there's a limitation. So you have one physical machine, there is one physical machine available here. Okay, in this physical machine what you're doing, you install already Windows is installed here, and you have written some application. Now the customer says I want the application written in this location to be tested in different location, and given me a confirmation whether my application is portable or is it properly working in with different operating system. Now how do you do that? There is where a software calls a virtualization software calls with the hypervisor. Hypervisor is a software. Hypervisor is a software which is used for doing a virtualization, which is used for doing virtualization. Mostly this is used, previously it was used by companies when they were doing this virtualization. Okay, because this is to reduce the overall cost of the hardware. So now these people what had, these people created a virtualization of this installation of this hypervisor, and this hypervisor allows us to install the guest operating system, allows us to install the guest operating system allows us to install the guest operating system. Okay, this operating system allows to install the guest operating system. So what it does, here you can install your Mac, here you can install your Linux, here you can install your Android. But what happens, I told this is what hypervisor software, and these are what your physical machines. Okay, your virtual machine, sorry, this is called a virtual machine, this is called your physical machine. This is called a physical machine. So what happens, this physical machine, okay, whatever this guest operating system is installing, it will take all the resources, that means all your resources like your CPU. Okay, your CPU, memory, RAM, everything is taken, because why, it is on the top of physical machine, so it will share like 10 GB it will take for your RAM, 10 GB it will take for a hard disk, 10 GB it will take your CPU, RAM and CPU, right? CPU, RAM and your uh, hard disk, all the three it will take 10 GB. Okay, let's suppose it has some 100 GB everything, it will take 10 GB for executing that application, whatever the requirement it is there, it will check. So likewise you can install your guest operating system, but the resources will come from physical. There is where what we gave definition of virtual machine is what, virtual machine is something which can access virtually, or virtual machine resources are shared from physical machine. I am saying physical machine, that means two things. One is it is physical, it is taking from all the resources like CPU, memory, RAM from the virtual machine is taken for a physical machine. On top of that, you will install your library bins and the application will be launched. So this is how you do the virtualization. This is how they do the virtualization. So simple example of virtualization will be here. In your Linux documentation, it should be there, I believe. So see, this is how you get a software. This is how you get a software of hypervisor, which is called a VMware workstation. VMware workstation, and here you can install that. You can install your n number of, see, this is all your physical machine. This physical machine we install a workstation, and you are testing. This guy is testing Windows 8 and Windows 7 both. Windows 8, Windows 7 both is testing, and here you're defining what is the CPU, memory, RAM, everything. It should be defined for these machines, right? Everything can be set it here. That means everything is now getting shared from where, from this location it is getting shared, so it is getting shared from the physical machine to this virtual machine. Here also the same case. Okay, you'll be installing that VMware in some other Windows machine, and top of that you'll be doing this virtualization. Previously it was, this is a concept of virtualization. This is how people be using your student lab. Where do you think that way, that way machines will accessible? That accessible the machine is from your physical machine. One physical machine, they create a virtualization on top of this all these machines. This is how the application is tested. That means using this hypervisor software, we are able to fetch the resource from the physical machine, give it to the virtual machine, and here the different operating system like a Mac, Linux, and Android is working. Okay, this is your virtualization, which is called a physical machine. Physical machine can be in two ways. Okay, as I spoke, in two ways, physical machine can be. Okay, now clear about virtualization, physical machine. Okay, fine. Got a clarity what is machine? At the end of the day, it's a physical machine, virtual machine, or it's a server, or it's a laptop desktop. It's end of the day, it's a machine. Why? End of the day, it's a machine only. Remember, people will confuse you saying, someone will say server, someone will say physical machine, server say virtual machine, someone say Linux or Windows box. But the end of the day, that is a machine only, which is where your hardware is there and a software is getting installed. So remember, don't get confused with things. Someone will call a physical machine, someone will say VM, short form, they'll give a short name for this VM. So don't get confused with this. Okay, this everything is same, everything is same, everything is same. Okay, got it, guys? Any clarity? Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay.
Fine. So next we'll learn about, yeah. Any clarity, guys? Any doubt? Okay, fine.
No.
So next we'll learn about, yes. Is your voice okay? Fine. So what we'll do is next we'll learn about the cloud. Okay. What is cloud? Simple. Okay, then why cloud? Okay, what is the reason of coming the cloud came into market? Okay, we'll understand cloud, what is the advantage and disadvantage of cloud, we'll learn, and then we'll fetch into the rest of the things. Okay, there are few sample definitions here which you need to understand. which you need to understand. Sample definition which is there, which you need to understand. One is your which you need to understand here. So there is you need to understand what are the types of types of cloud we have, and what are the types of cloud models. Okay, you need to understand this one because this is important before you proceed into anything. Okay, this is very important before you proceed into cloud. So high level definition I'll give you, and then we'll start this how to create an account. I created a good document for you guys where you can refer this one. Okay, where you can refer this one. Okay, you guys can refer here this document. I'll share you. Okay, I'll show you the steps as well. Okay, I'll show you the steps as well. Maybe I created this documentation. Where did I create this one? Okay, how to create a Azure account. I'll guide you step by step. Okay, tomorrow I'll guide you, not today. So tomorrow I'll guide you all the step by step how to create a free account without any money. How do you create a free account? Okay, and how do you get a login? Okay, you'll get a login like this. Okay, if you go to Azure, you sign in your free account, and this is your login portal which you'll get it. Okay, login portal you'll get it. Okay, how to log in into this portal, again how to create this account of this portal. I'll tell you both. Okay, how you can create this account and how you can work on this your virtual networks and machines. All these concepts how we'll learn it. Okay, initially we require to create only the virtual machines. Initially we'll create only the virtual machine. By default you'll be getting a credit of 15,000. This is a free one. You're not paying anything amount. This is a free one for you till you can use till 15,000. Once you exceed this one, then the charges will apply, like monthly some 200 300 charges will come. Okay, very less. Okay, it will be very less. So these are the things we need to cover. So more one day we'll have little bit of introduction part, and then here we'll start how to create account and launch. By tomorrow we'll launch and create an installation account. Okay, from third day we'll be starting the basic commands and we'll be starting the practical work. Okay, all the command line activities, how to connect to a machine. Okay, once you launch, how to connect to a machine, how to log in into machine. Okay, how to run the commands. Okay, what are the different commands you'll be running. All these things I'll be teaching you. Okay, so let's stop it here. Okay, daily 1 hour only. Initial days daily 1 hour, then slowly maybe from next week we'll be starting till 8:30. Okay, after half an hour I'll extend it. Okay, for first week same. Okay, first 1 week it is 1 hour, then I'll start 1.5 hour every day. Okay, so this terminology is important because otherwise you'll get confused. Tomorrow someone will say it's a server, it's a physical machine, virtual machine. Okay, Linux box, Windows box. At the end of the day, that's a machine only. Remember, that's a machine only. It's only way of. Okay, what is a data center? What is a physical machine? What is virtual machine? Okay, what is cloud? Why the cloud came into market? What is the difference between the data center and the cloud? Okay, what is the difference between data center and cloud? You should understand that, and then you proceed with this one. Okay, then we'll start all the next concept as per whatever your schedule is created, your scope or syllabus. About the syllabus will proceed. Okay, let's stop it here. Okay, fine. So let's connect tomorrow same time, guys. 8 o'clock. Okay.
Yeah, hi, hello. Sorry for
Yeah,
interrupting
yeah,
you.
yeah,
Yeah, I have a small doubt. Can I ask you?
yeah.
I actually shared on the last week the course content documentation, right? In that document, I have some doubt.
Yeah, tell me.
Yeah, wait a minute.
This one you're saying.
Uh, Actually, in the course content, there is a last one, Azure DevOps Services, right?
Okay.
Like Azure broad reports pipeline.
Okay.
In these topics, you are covered with only Azure or before complete the DevOps.
First we'll learn complete DevOps, then we'll go to Azure because you should understand what is Git, what is Jenkins. Then only you will able to run the pipeline. Otherwise, that pipeline will not be. You'll not understand what is that pipeline only first of all, because in that there is a Git
Okay.
concept. It is not simply used. So where is that? Uh, if you open this one, first you should understand this Git. What is Git? Because when you learn this Azure CI/CD pipeline, in the CI/CD pipeline, you should understand how do you clone the code, how do you execute the code, how do you run the Jenkins pipeline. If you don't understand these basic things, then this is just a button system. This is just within 15 minutes you can create a pipeline. You can
Okay.
click the double click the buttons and click it. But what is running behind this pipeline, that you need to understand. If this
So
pipeline
it
is
is not
failing, how do you troubleshoot that pipeline?
it is not important or important.
This is important, but this is what a button system. You know how to, you can
Okay.
click the button going next one. You can follow that graphical interface. You can go next and click the button. But what is Git? When you're passing a URL of Git, from where the code is coming, from where the code is downloading, from where you're executing that commands, okay, how this is getting uploaded, all that things is important. When you say CI/CD is complete pipeline, right from the command line till the deployment, what is happening. So that is the reason first you should understand these things. If you don't understand this, what is Git, what is Jenkins, what is Maven, then it is, you'll not understand. Okay, you'll get confused here.
Yeah.
I can go
Yeah,
directly
okay.
teach you first Azure, but you'll not understand when you're clicking a button, behind the button what is running. That is important, right? Clicking a button is fine, but behind that button, what is processing, what output giving, that idea should have it, right? If you don't have that idea, how you'll work? That is the reason. First, DevOps will come into picture, then your Azure will come into picture. But just for executing a DevOps command, we require one machine. There is where we will be creating only one Azure machine. We'll be creating one Azure machine, and then we'll be proceeding with the DevOps. For that reason, we require an account. Okay. And
Yeah,
further, once we
okay.
complete this DevOps, will come from the scratch of your Azure. Line by line, we'll be studying each and every topic we'll be covering in the Azure. Clear?
Yeah.
Okay, let's stop it here. We'll connect tomorrow, same time. Okay. Thank you guys. Okay. Have a good day.
Yeah,
Bye
thank
bye.